Everyone, it's Stacy. Welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It is a beautiful sunny day here. I am squinting a bit because the sun is in my eyes, but I really wanted to be outside and share this practice with you. So thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be thinking about feeling through the lymphatic system of our bodies, which is the garbage collection system that runs throughout our bodies and helps us to stay healthy. Hundreds of nodes that are throughout. You might have noticed them in your neck, under your armpits, in your groin, and we're just going to move that fluid today. And so finding a comfortable mat, however you like to be, and taking care of your body, moving in that pain-free range of motion and doing what's best for the body that you have today. So as you find yourself comfortable, seated, standing, wherever, we are going to start standing in a bit. But if you want to gather yourself as I read just a few words, then however you are comfortable. Each day is a fresh start, a chance to set new intentions, and opportunity to create positive change. Let your yoga practice be your guiding light. And so taking a few breaths in and out to register with those words. We can maybe place one hand on the heart, one on the low belly. And as we breathe in and out through the nose, or if we're congested, using the mouth as needed. And just taking an awareness of the breath. Perhaps the breath is going deep down into the belly as we breathe in through the nose, past the chest, the rib cage, and into the belly as it expands out. As we exhale, it all returns toward the spine. Or maybe today our breath isn't as deep, but just an awareness of how we're breathing, that we are breathing, and that maybe we can put a smile on our face for just a short time. So let's take about 2 or 3 more breaths. And then whenever you're ready, coming to standing. And let's just open our hands. Palms open, rolling the shoulders back, grounding through the feet, finding that stability. And as we start to move through the shoulders, the arms, turning palms away, thumbs down. So as we have this gentle motion, opening and closing through the arms, perhaps you're visualizing the lymph nodes underneath the arms, starting to move that fluid. And remember, it's your pace, your speed, it's your practice. So whenever we're ready and we open those palms, let's inhale all the way up. And exhale, just settle the shoulders down, let them be soft. And then we're going to take one hand and we're just going to pat up and down our sides. Once again, moving that lymph fluid. And then when you're ready, just go to the other side. And maybe we do one more time on each side if that feels particularly good this morning or this afternoon, whatever time of day you are enjoying. And then we'll bring the arms back up when you're ready. So as we reach tall with the hands and we create some space in the spine, maybe even wiggling side to side like we're pulling an imaginary rope and opening the side body. And then we're ready, we can reach hands forward and hinge at the hips and find that forward fold. Sweeping arms back up overhead, exhaling as we fold. So on your own, finding this forward fold with its extended mountain, moving the lymph through the groin. And our muscle action of pumping is what helps us to move fluid as well. So just moving and pumping the muscles. And maybe the next time we find that forward fold, we deepen into the fold, tucking the chin, shaking the head yes and no, releasing the back of the neck. And then let's slide hands up to the shin and release the shoulders back away from the ears. And then exhale and fold once more. Now as we sink the hips, sweep the arms out to the side over wide, inhale all the way up. And then let's just place our hands on our shoulders. A little funky chicken. We want to have fun during our yoga practice, right? So a little funky chicken, that action of pumping. And then perhaps we hula hoop, circling the hips. And after we've circled 1 or 2 times, and we come to the top of our mat. That mountain pose where we ground through the 4 corners of the feet, opening those shoulders again, opening those hands. And we take just a breath or 2 of awareness, how our body is feeling today. And let's set an intention for class or an affirmation. How about I am moving my lymph while enjoying a pain-free range of motion that is best for me. And then as we're ready, we can step that right foot back. Let's step into our warrior 1, where we bring that front knee over the ankle. We ground through that back foot, always an opportunity to lift that back heel and adjust as you like. Let's square the hips to the front, and then those palms away like we're backwards high-fiving someone. Let's bring them behind if we're able to interlace fingers. Drive the knuckles down, open our chest. Maybe we press that head against that imaginary wall behind us to further add some lengthening to our spine. Now let's just release the hands down to our hips or wherever they're comfortable as we lift that back heel and we spiral onto the ball of the foot, a gentle pumping action as we drive the heel down and back up. And if this front leg wants to straighten, that's okay. We're just adding in that pumping action to move that lymphatic fluid. Let's do about 2 or 3 more times. And after that last time, let's see if we are able to hold that high lunge, squeezing inner thighs together, squeezing the buns, creating that dynamic tension of strength. And perhaps this time we open the hands wide, fingertips reaching long. And we'll release the hands down and let's step ourselves forward. Beautiful job. Before we go on to the other side, let's find a little chair flow, so our feet about hip width apart as we open the hands, sweeping them up, bending into the knees, finding our chair at our heart center. So gentle sweeping up and around of the hands. Honoring your knees, going as low that feels comfortable, but maybe challenging ourselves if we don't feel pain to go a bit deeper into the pose. Let's do 2 more times. And that last time, as we meet tall, our hands at our heart center, let's rotate the palms, slide the hands apart to find this Ganesha mudra. Relax the shoulders down, and as we gently tug, making some resistance with those fingers as we pretend to pull them apart, and then relax. Some tension as we pull apart and then relax, feeling the movement, perhaps through the shoulders, the upper chest, the back. Let's do 2 more. And we'll release that down. At the top of our mat, wherever you have maybe journeyed, or maybe you've been at the top of the mat the whole time, let's step that left foot back into that warrior one. Angling that back foot to feel secure. Bending that front knee over the ankle. Thumbs down, let's swim the palms away. Perhaps we drive, arms down, opening through the shoulders. Settle the body and enjoy the breath. Now as we release the hands and we lift that back heel, spiraling onto the ball of the foot, squeezing the lower body to find that stability, and we drive that back heel down and then lifting it up, that gentle pumping motion once again. Let's do about 2 more, feeling through the legs. And that last time as we settle the body. And we'll step to the top of the mat. Let's take a moment just to check in with that motion of the legs, opening the chest, how we feel. And we'll come to that mountain pose once again. And as we sweep the arms overhead, inhale, exhale as we soften and we find that forward fold. Let's step both feet back into that downward facing dog. Hips are high as we elongate the spine. And perhaps we like to pedal out the feet one at a time. Or maybe even pressing both feet and then coming forward into a plank or kneeling plank if that feels nice. Let's remember the breath. And as you're ready, and you look between the hands, let's take our time journeying up that direction into our forward fold. Even the belly against the thighs gives an opportunity for that lymphatic flow. As maybe we come up and down a bit, pumping the action into the belly. Taking care of that neck, that we're releasing tension as we look behind us. Let's walk our hands, let's journey up, walk our hands slowly up the body. Open the hands back into that mountain pose. And we'll step that right foot back into our warrior two. So find your way to your warrior two. Deepening as much as you like. Always staying safe with our alignment. Opening the arms. Arms are not just hanging out in the joints, they're on a beautiful shelf. Fingertips reaching long to hug the muscles into the bones as we gaze forward. See if we can slow the breath, maybe even inhales and exhales, as we might feel challenged holding this posture a bit longer. And then as we reach forward with that front hand, flipping the palm open and lifting into our reverse warrior. That arm can be soft on top, could be more extended, just honoring our shoulder. And then as we switch into our side angle pose, that front arm coming down, that back arm reaching up. And we'll come back to our warrior two. And let's bring hands to hips and we'll just switch sides. We'll just take the left foot to the side of the mat, and that back foot now becomes the front foot as our right leg deepening into the knee over the ankle, that back foot toward the long edge of the mat as we inhale up into our warrior two, gazing at the front hand. And then as you reach that hand forward, lifting into our reverse warrior. Reversing our arms so that front arm comes down as the back hand lifts up into our side angle pose. And coming back to our warrior two. And let's bring hands to hips and take all 10 toes to the long edge of the mat. Maybe we circle a bit as nose, knees, toes go toward the long edge of the mat. Might even do a little internal rotation, might bring the toes in a bit if that feels better on the hips. As we hinge forward and find this forward fold, always an opportunity to have a block, something to bring the ground up to you. Maybe we even start to lunge side to side, feeling through the groin and the hips. Knowing anytime we need to rest, it's available to us. And then wherever we are, we're going to walk our hands to the front of the mat and just pivot the feet as we do. We'll drop that back knee, slide both feet back, and come into our child's pose. Oh, best pose ever, where we get a little rest. And let's take our head, if it's available to the mat, if it's not quite there, we can stack our hands, elongate the head, and roll our forehead side to side, activating our parasympathetic nervous system, which calms us down, helps us to rest and digest. And then after We have rolled the head. We'll bring ourselves up to all fours. Little cat-cow as we lift the chest, lift the head, dip the low belly down into our cow. As we tuck the belly up and in, looking behind us, exhaling into our cat. Moving through your version of cat-cow. Always an opportunity to check in. And let's round that belly up one more time into that cat. Look behind us. Really press away, creating this foundational dome of our arms. Take a few breaths. And then let's release the body back to neutral. And then we're just going to melt down to our arms and find our way to our bellies. So let's roll the hips side to side. Just feel, I feel the leaves crunching under my mat. It's a wonderful sound. And just roll side to side. Feel the hips, feel the belly. And then as we melt our chest down and we drag the hands back by the shoulders, we're going to do a little hypnotizing cobra. So we'll start with that long spine. And then we'll just find our way side to side. So we're not lifting very high. But we're just moving side to side, allowing that little lateral flexion of the side body. And then we'll come back through center. Let's release the hands down, hand over hand. Elongate the head as we once again place the forehead on the mat. Lift the feet and sway side to side. Let's do one more time, side to side. Release the heels down. And then let's just gradually bring our heels toward our buns and release to the top of the feet, straightening the legs. The lymph nodes behind the knee. As we release the feet down and we drag the hands in, coming up to all fours, press with the hands, lift with the belly, and maybe a child's pose before we come to seated. We'll meet just seated on our mat. So feet out long. We'll turn to the side so you can see a little bit better. We might widen the legs to the edges of the mat as hands come behind us and we press ourselves up tall out of the pose, exposing beautiful heart space. And then swiveling the legs side to side, one knee in toward the opposite ankle. And then we'll straighten that right leg out. Let's leave that left knee tugged in. We can support ourselves around the shin. if that works, or any other part of the leg that feels comfy. Rounding nose toward knee if we're able, and then bringing ourselves up tall. With that left knee hugged in, we're going to take that left arm, just like we're shaking someone's hand. And as we inhale, opening, sweeping that arm back, looking behind us, and then dragging it forward as the head gently follows. Might even have a feeling of dragging that hand towards sand. Let's do one more time. And maybe we bring both knees in, giving ourselves a little hug. And then we extend the other leg, hugging that right knee in. Rounding nose toward knee if we're able. Sitting up tall, supporting ourselves around that bent leg. And then as we reach that right hand forward, fingers out wide, shaking someone's hand. Hello, how are you? And as we inhale, opening through that shoulder, swiping back and forth. And maybe you like a more flowing motion to soften that arm more. That's okay. Let's do one more time. One final shake to our friend. And then drag that other knee in, and let's open into our butterfly. Your version of butterfly, feet as far or close as you like today. There is a pond right beyond our toes. Now, as we sit up tall and we lengthen and we hinge forward just beyond the toes, finding some kindness to ourselves, a kind word for practicing today, connecting, breathing, moving. Maybe we even close the eyes and just feel the breath. Two more rounds of breath. And bring ourselves up tall. Let's take those palms up, slide them right underneath the lower part of our leg, our calves. And let's start to walk our feet, our heels a bit closer to us until we find a little balance on those sits bones into our flower posture. And we might just bring the chest out proud. We might decide, it sounds fun, to lift those feet, creating that dynamic tension of all the muscles working as we breathe into our flower. And we release it down, closing the knees, and let's assist ourselves to our back. And on our back, taking a moment to see what feels good. We might want to hug knees into chest. We might want to extend arms and legs out long just to feel that stretch and that space. But wherever we are, we're going to end with legs up the wall. And I don't have a wall here outside, but we're going to do one without a wall to start. And you can just bring your knees in toward your chest. extending them all the way up, allowing gravity to help with the lymph flow. It takes a load off of the heart. It allows our body to soften. And if you do have a wall, I'm going to bring this chair over to kind of simulate a wall. The way to get into it from a wall is to, if this is the wall, put your hip against the wall, lean back, scoot your bottom as close as you can to the base of the wall. Or you know what? This chair actually works great. So legs up the chair today is what we're doing. Wherever you are, let's take a big inhale. Open the mouth like you're folding up a mirror and exhale. Let's do that 2 more times, breathing in. A big exhale. And 1 more time, breathing in. And an exhale. As we soften the face, the eyes, the bridge of the nose, the cheeks, and the mouth. We notice the shoulders releasing back. The heart space. You might feel the beating of the heart, or just notice the breath. The chest expanding out, the ribs, the belly. Noticing the contact of the back. All of the back on the mat. And if we've chosen legs up in the air, on the wall, on the chair, whatever, you might notice that sensation of the feet gently sinking into the hip sockets, the legs, the hips, all being grounded by the beauty of gravity. And just like the flow of the lymphatic fluid throughout our body, doing its job, a moment of gratitude for our breath, and for a few moments of our day where all is peaceful and all is calm. Feel free to stay here as long as you want. You can stay here for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. For the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and come out. And as you do, allow yourself a gradual transition. So bringing knees into chest and then rolling to your favorite side. Hanging out there for a few breaths, just allowing the blood pressure to normalize, our bodies to adjust. And then as you're ready, using that top hand to press ourselves up to seated. And let's find those namaste hands. I thank you all for joining me today, allowing me to be a part of your practice. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you find peace and ease in your day. Namaste.